Welcome to the Online SuperCoach podcast. Today, I am very happy that I have my good friend, my dear friend, Keara Palmay here with us. So Keara, she worked at Online SuperCoach at its very beginning when it just started helping AJ really get Online SuperCoach off the ground. And then she came back and helped me kind of also get my start, in the first few months here, getting it off the ground. So that was really helpful. But Keara has gone on and done other things in this space. You worked at Sky Mountain Marketing, and you did a variety of creative development and marketing responsibilities there. And then now you're currently with Genesis Digital, and there you're doing what, like a lot of copywriting?
Yeah. Copywriting, lots of data, lots of just selling stuff.
Yeah. So you have just completely just continued to go on and on and on. So that's like so exciting. And just to get started, before we get started, I just wanted to just ask you, like we always do here, is what's a good phrase or a mantra that really gets you really excited?
The wisdom of life consists in the elimination of the non-essentials.
That sounds like AJ talking now.
It means let go of the noise and just focus on what actually matters.
That's great. That's a really good. That's it's good to really do that and bring balance to your life. And then I feel like you just go much faster and flow easier when you have balance. So that's what I take away from that. That's a good one.
Amen.
So the first thing I wanted to just bring up with you is few months ago, you left me these two voice messages, these long voice messages, and you were kind of really explaining a lot of things, all marketing related, and it was super helpful. And basically, can you just tell us all that what you just said in the video? I'm just kidding. But that was perfect. That was there was so much information there. So I just wanted to ask questions, as to help trainers just really start, trainers who are starting out. How do they, really begin in just structuring, how they want to, have a message come out, on Facebook or Instagram?
Yeah, so there are a few things. I mean, there's going to be the way that you brand yourself, which is one way of doing things. And then the other way of getting your message across is by following a formula for writing sales copy. And writing sales copy, and let me just backtrack. If anyone listening doesn't know what sales copy is or copywriting, it is just words that sell. So if you ever hear anyone talking about copywriting or sales copy, it just means it's the words that are in a post or an email or on a sales page. And those words are specifically called copy because they're specifically designed to sell. So when you write copy, whether that be in a Facebook post, an Instagram post, any way that you're getting across to your leads, there is definitely a science to it. And then there's also an art. So when you want to message your brand, when you want that brand message that's really clear and cohesive, you want to make sure, Dennison, and anyone listening, that you can say what you do in just one sentence. So the most fundamental, basic copywriting formula is, I help X achieve Y so they can Z. So I help busy dads reduce 30% body fat, or right. I guess they would die if they did that, so that they can feel as energetic as they did in high school. Fill in the blanks and do it way better than I just did. But that's the brand message essentially. And anything that you write, anything that you create should be an offshoot of that, but it's going to be directly related to it. Meaning everything that you talk about in your brand should be related to that, right? In some sort of way, because you want to make sure you're attracting your ideal client with every single signal that you put out into the universe. Because what you put out is what you get back.
That sounds so simple. Just for branding wise, just you should be able to say what you do in one sentence. So
yes,
that sounds like it's probably one of those things that's a lot, easier said than done, but
yes,
that's very, 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 very helpful. So let me ask you a question. Where did you learn? Take me through, I kind of quickly went through your, resume here, but where did you pick up on all of this? Like, did you go to school for it, or how did you pick up on all these skills?
Not whatsoever. If I ever knew that I would be a digital marketer in high school, like if I knew this 10, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, I'd be like, what even is that? So I went to school for speech pathology, but I had cancer when I went to college. So I was very confused about what I wanted. And I allowed other people to kind of choose my major for me, parents and stuff. So once I graduated, I was like, screw this. I hate this. This is so not me. I totally was like unconscious when I went to college. So I went to a Tony Robbins seminar, and through that, I learned a lot about human psychology because I kept going back and I kept volunteering and I stayed in his world. And as I worked with AJ, I learned a lot about marketing because we started building Online SuperCoach, and he was having me just do the grunt work. Basically, I was like working out of my basement in Philadelphia at the time. And I was just doing whatever he told me, and I was YouTubing it along the way. I had no idea what marketing was. So AJ really just kind of forced me into this by giving me a job. And then after that, I wound up working for Tony Robbins. So I moved on from Online SuperCoach to go work for Tony Robbins and become a results coach. And through doing that, I got a lot of training in human psychology and how it works.
Right.
So as I coached all these different types of people from all over the world, the process was very similar. I mean, we followed the same process on every single call. And with coaching, basically make someone aware of what their problem is. You figure out what it's costing them to stay there. And then you basically restate the exact problem like in one sentence, and then you break them through it and have them visualize what's going to happen on the other side of it. And then they walk away with action steps that you decide upon. And then I realized that writing sales copy was the exact same process to coaching. So once I left Tony Robbins, I created my own marketing agency with my best friend, Sky Mountain Marketing. We had an agency, and now I've moved on. I've gotten a lot more like technical and nerdy, and I'm working with like millions of leads now as I write and send out messages. But yeah, I mean, it's really the same process for everything. So looping back to a question you asked me earlier, is I was talking about two different types of writing sales copy. It's like your messaging sales copy. I help X achieve Y so they can Z.
Right.
And then it's like a post or an email or whatever.
Right.
And with that framework, the most general framework you want to follow is PAS, problem, agitate, solve. So
you ask you about that.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I left you those long voice messages about. And you're like, holy crap, you just talked to me for 16 minutes and I don't even know what to do now because it was too much. So I could get nerdy with it, but you want to,
what is problem, agitate, solve?
Problem, agitate, solve is number one, addressing a problem so that your leads can, number one, become aware that they have a problem. They might have not even known it based upon where their head's at. Or number two, they can relate with you or with one of your clients, for example.
Right.
If you say, I always struggled with my body image, or growing up, I always hated the way that I looked.
Right.
That's a problem. And immediately someone can relate to that and kind of get sucked into the post or into the email. And then agitate is...
How would you say it? I'm sorry. So one way was to say it like, I am like you, I also struggle with my weight. But the first scenario, like how would you language it that way? If it was same context, but if it wasn't putting yourself in it?
You could do anything. You could do statistics, for example, like it could be a question, for example, like, did you know that 88% of your profits are burning because you don't have a cart abandonment sequence for your membership site? It could be something like that, where you are just like, or it could be all caps, like, don't burn 80% of your revenue. Here's like, let me show you how you can avoid that. So that's just an example. Like, you don't want people abandoning your cart. If you have like an automated program that you're selling.
Right.
So it could be something like that, but you basically like state a problem. You make a you just write a sentence that is like, oh, okay. And it hooks the people who want to learn more. And those are the people that you want to sell to.
Right. So then about agitation, like what about what are some examples of agitating specifically for trainers trying to, lure in more of their clients, right? So they want to, state a problem that would be for, the personal, like someone who's trying to lose weight, for instance, as the example you gave before, how would you agitate it? And can you go too far in agitating it? Can you get
Absolutely. I don't know if I'm allowed to curse on this or not, but yeah, you don't want to be a jerk. I'll say that. Yeah, don't be a jerk. And also don't stand on a pedestal and be like, I used to be an idiot. Just like you. It's like, chill out. You're not God, okay? But the way to agitate a problem is to just go into your own backstory if you have a personal brand and if people are buying because of you. So an example of that could be like, I always hated the way that I looked growing up, and then agitate. It's like I would look in the mirror and pinch at all of the chubby spots on my body, and I would wish that I looked like the women in the magazines on my nightstand. Something like that. It's literally just agitate is like going through the specific things that your ideal client is struggling with, because you want to understand what keeps your ideal client up at night or what frustrates them when they wake up in the morning and they look in the mirror. You want to know what they're saying to themselves in their mind. You want to know how they're thinking, what they're feeling, what they're doing throughout the day, what thoughts come up, what insecurities come up as they lay awake at night. What is the stress that is stirring in their mind?
Right.
So you want to write to that. So if you're going to agitate a problem, you're literally going to talk about a few of the specific things that you once struggled with, for example, as you know that your ideal client is struggling with that exact thing right now.
You get away with more of it at talking about yourself and your own like plight, basically.
Exactly.
Sorry, I'm telling you what happened to me.
Yeah. And so that's if you have a personal brand. If you don't have a personal brand, maybe you have like a supplement company, for example, then it could be like, let's just say people are buying crap supplements that are actually bad for them.
Right.
And then you could just talk about like, it could even just be a story, like, last week, passed away. They thought that they were getting green tea extract and it wound up being freaking crack cocaine. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just coming up with stuff. But you could share a story from the news or current events. You could share statistics. You could just say, most people don't know what's in their supplements and blah, blah, blah. And it's a common misconception. And the thing that's the place where you get hurt with that is blah, blah, blah. It's affecting your health. It's damaging your liver, whatever these people care about most. You want to like just write about like how bad this problem is and agitate it. So that's an example of that.
Right. Well, then of course it's not all doom and gloom, right? We want to tactfully give them, the sunrise, like the light at the end of the tunnel, right? Without coming off too aggressively solicitous, right? Is there a tactful way to just, say, well, I have the solution for, like, is there a better way to,
say that? Absolutely. So moving into PAS, problem, agitate, solve. Moving into the solution, that's what the S stands for. You do want to paint this picture of life being all flowers and butterflies and hopes and dreams, and it's all achievable. The framework is very much just like an infomercial. It's like in the beginning, it's all black and white and life sucks. And then by the end of the infomercial, it's like all color and like grandma's running through a field of lavender
Those are the best.
flowers.
It's like now it's all fun.
Exactly. So that's what this framework is. It's just through words. But yes, as you shift into the solution, it's like, oh, this problem sucks, blah, blah, blah. Let's explain why it sucks. And then you could just say like one simple sentence, like, or it doesn't even have to be a full sentence. It could be like, but it doesn't have to be this way, dot, dot, dot. You can just type something like that. Or you could say like, thankfully, it doesn't have to be this way. Thankfully, there's a solution and it doesn't require you being at the gym for 2 hours a day and starving yourself. And that's how you shift into the solution. And then, yeah, and you talk about, you want to make it sound like you have a secret sauce. So if you're a personal trainer and you're teaching people how to exercise and diet, that is not what people want to do. Okay. If they wanted to do that, they wouldn't be seeing you because they would have already been doing. Everyone knows how to get fit. Right. We all know what to do. So you want to make it sound like you've got a secret sauce. So maybe you do something with intermittent fasting and a specific workout routine, like intermittent fasting mixed with HIIT, and you call that your X factor formula. Yeah. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, come up with some name for it if you want. But you want to make it sound like a secret sauce. Maybe you're a vegan or something, and you just are all about vegan, high repetition, bikini competition preparation. Maybe that's your thing. Okay, come up with like a name for that, or just make sure that you talk about the fact that you have a secret sauce. You're not just doing what everyone else is doing, which is basically like starve and work out all day long.
Yeah.
So once you figure out your secret sauce, then you could shift into solution. So let's go back to role playing. Could be like, thankfully it doesn't have to be this way. And the best part is you don't have to spend 2 hours at the gym all day and feel hungry as you go to sleep at night. That's because I created the XYZ secret sauce factor. and as my clients and I implemented the XYZ secret sauce factor, then you could even make a bulleted list. We felt full and satisfied all day long, yet we felt lean. We looked in the mirror and noticed our muscles showing through. We lost like 5 pounds of body fat within just the first week. Our partner called us sexy and kept looking at us and trying to figure out what we were doing differently. People started asking me what I was doing. I started looking so young. Things like that. I don't know. Whatever your clients want most.
You want to give them like a list of really showing all the proof how it really works.
Yeah, exactly. So you just want to paint the picture. And this is called future pacing. This is something that coaches...
Say that again, future
pacing.
Future pacing.
So you have people think about what their life could look like in the future once they solve this problem. And that's with any problem. So if someone feels overweight right now and invisible, maybe their husband doesn't look at them, then the opposite of that would be like being slim, having the energy they had in high school, having their husband just long for them and desire for them. That's exactly what your ideal client avatar would want. And so that's what you would want to list. Like, that's the version of their ultimate utopia. And that's what you want to list out. So make them think about what their life could be like if they solved this problem that keeps them up at night. And then that's when you leave a call to action. It's called a CTA in marketing. But once you go through like all that the person could achieve, all the hopes and dreams that they'll accomplish, you could even ask a question to get them really involved in this vision. You could say, what's the first thing that you'll do once you get your high school body back? Or what?
You're already getting them to think as if they were there. You're not asking like, is this interesting to you? It's not like a very linear question like that. Your question,
Yeah.
getting them to, it's like already past that. You're going to do it. So what's the first thing you're going to do? So that's such a great way to do it.
Yeah. Or like, what beach will you visit first when you
Yeah.
get your dream body back? Or what kind of bathing suit will you buy? Or what kind of clothing will you wear?
Selling
Ask
the
them.
dream.
Yeah, exactly. Like, ask them a question. That'll make the post even better, the email even more effective. If you actually ask them a question that pictures them in that situation, and then you can end the post or the email with, whatever you decide, the XYZ secret sauce factor is 25% off this week. Click here to grab it now.
Right.
And
Right.
or click
Really
here to learn more
make it easy
about
for
it
them to
and see the
finish.
success stories. Yeah, something like that. So I always like a gentle call to action that's like, it ends on something positive, like, whenever you decide, you can have it all. And then
Right.
I could sign off like, from Keara Palmay, and then I could be like, PS, the X Factor secret sauce, whatever I called it, is
Yeah.
on sale, is 25% off this week. And it doesn't have to be like a sale. You can promote anything. You could say, oh, I added a new bonus to this program, or
Yeah.
whatever. It could be anything. You don't even have to have bonuses. It could just be like, PS, the XYZ factor. Like, check out our success stories at the XYZ factor
Right. Right.
here.
Just
This
more.
could be you. Something like that to get them curious so that they click, and then they're on your sales page, and then they can go buy, or they're on your booking calendar and they can book a enrollment call with you.
Right, right. So that's so interesting. And then one of the things that I took out of all of that was, you were kind of straddling back and forth, whether it was an email or a post, and you weren't necessarily specific of what platform to post it with, but really, regardless of where this is structured, whether it's on a website or on Facebook or on any kind of platform or in an email or anywhere, or whatever comes out tomorrow, a new platform tomorrow, it
Yeah,
doesn't matter. This basic DNA of how you market is essentially the same, and it's been the same since the beginning of time. You want to
it has
present a
been.
problem, you want to agitate it and give them a solution, right? So
Exactly.
that's kind of what I'm taking away from it, is that when you really learn this skill set and practice it on a regular basis and keep practicing and practicing it, you're just gonna get really proficient with it. And if they come out with something else after, TikTok, and then after that something else, it doesn't matter. You could just do the exact same formula over and over and over again.
Correct. And with TikTok, you're not going to write these lengthy emails or vulnerable posts like people do on Facebook, but you could start off with, you know, 3 steps to, let's talk about intermittent fasting. So a problem with intermittent fasting is like, people just don't feel like doing it. They're like, I'm hungry, dude. Give me a freaking breakfast burrito. So it could be like, how to kick your appetite when you're starving in the morning. And
Right.
and so the TikTok could start out with like, I wake up so hungry, I could
Yeah.
eat a cow or something. And then it's like, um, and this killed my progress with intermittent fasting. For years, I would go on and off of fasting without
And
good
here's three
results.
quick tricks to ta 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 ta.
Yeah, but then I figured out these 3 tricks. Here they are. 1, 2, 3. You can do it too, whatever. So you can follow the same thing. You're just gonna be dancing around or whatever you do on
Yeah,
TikTok.
that's so great. So, um, but so although this formula really does work with, across the platforms, and it'll continue to work forever and ever and ever, because it's basically the same thing. But
Yeah.
being so invested in the, just in general marketing and copywriting, are you seeing any changes over the last like 5 years or so? I mean, are some of the copywriting shorter or longer, or is it more like, has anything changed at all? Like, is something coming new? I just wanted to just try to educate, trainers, as far as like trying to stay current with what's like new or what's exciting. I don't know, just.
Yeah. There are a lot of changes. Absolutely. Marketing changes so frequently and so fast. If you have a personal brand, you can get away with writing about your story, because if people buy because they like you, basically, then they want to know more about your story. So that's where the long-winded posts or emails come in that are very personal. So keep doing that if you've got a brand where people resonate with you and like you and constantly comment on your stuff like, dude, thanks, this inspired me today, I needed this. Keep doing that.
Right.
If you're someone who's like new and you just want to, I don't know, try to slang as many freaking sales of your new fitness app or something, then, and if your demographic is younger, then you want to get on TikTok, for example, because you know that the younger users are going to be on TikTok for more and more years to come, unless it just disappears and dies like
Right.
Vine did. If you have an older population like boomers, like, you know, be posting on Facebook. But, you know, the biggest thing that changed about marketing in the last 5 years is the fact that Reels and TikToks are really dominating the market.
So it's a
And
very short segments.
very short segments.
YouTube shorts.
Yeah. But that doesn't mean that the people who have a small following and a personal brand where they write long-winded posts or they send emails that have stories, that doesn't mean that those people don't make just as much money, if not more. It's all relative, because you can have someone doing TikTok and, you know, promoting, let's say they promote an Instagram reel as a Facebook ad, and now
Right.
they're getting tens of thousands of leads. Well, that person's email list can grow a lot if they're selling something that's lower ticket, like a $97 program, versus a coach who has a very small following of maybe 2,000 people on Instagram. They take their time and put intention behind their posts. They have a small email list of 500 people where they also nurture that, but they charge $3,000 to $5,000 per program or per client.
Yeah.
You know, they can make just as much money. So, you know, it's like follow what works for you, and also follow where you have momentum, and never forget that
Yeah.
if you've already got a bunch of momentum, you already have a bunch of people talking to you on Facebook, you've already got clients from there, then you don't need to jump ship and go to TikTok. I mean, you can go do both if you want, but if the thought of creating a TikTok account makes you want to like throw up and hide in a cave, then that's probably a sign that you shouldn't do it. You know, and vice versa. Maybe someone on TikTok is like, I don't want to go on Facebook with these old people. Well, you know, whatever, follow what makes you happy and wherever you have momentum, because you don't want your business to end up feeling like a punishment by trying to max yourself out. And this relates to the quote that I opened up with, is that the wisdom of life lies in the elimination of the non-essentials. You know, just do what feels right and follow where you have momentum, and you don't need to go out and do more than that if it makes you feel like you hate your life.
Well,
And
that's
I am
great advice
speaking,
for anybody and anywhere, all over the place.
yeah, I'm speaking from experience, so it's very real.
That's really, really great. I don't know how to follow up from that. But yeah, no, I mean, I think that's a really good advice too, as far as like if it's working for you in Facebook or wherever the platform is, or if it is TikTok or whatever it is, then just keep going with that. And if you are going to want to try and dip your toe in another platform, another type of format, I think it probably makes sense to keep doing precisely what's working in that one, and then, you know, don't modify what you're doing already that's working. Just keep doing that, and then
Yeah.
do whatever the other one, try the new one, you know, accordingly. You know.
Yeah, always keep doing what has been working for you so far, because if you pull the rug from underneath your feet, then all of a sudden you're going to lose a stream of leads that you once had. So always continue to do what has worked for you, unless you hate your life. You know,
You
I
know,
think like 3 years ago, I had to delete my email list because I was like, I hate my entire business. I'm not posting on social media. Like, I burnt myself out by trying to do the YouTube videos and the Instagram posts and the email stuff. And like, I just needed like a hard stop on everything. So Yeah, so make sure that you enjoy what you're doing, and yeah, don't jump ship if something's working, as long as you like it.
Yeah. Well, you look like you're in such a good balanced place now. So,
Oh, I'm so chill. I've never been more peaceful, so I'm very thankful for that.
all right. Well, this has been very, very helpful. I feel like anybody who had any questions as far as how they get started and really just conceptually how marketing works and how you're supposed to really start with a problem and then agitate solution. You want to what was it, the future pacing, like paint that picture of what it could look like going forward. All of that is, and then of course you'd have to have your CTA, the call to action at the end.
Yes. Always. Never forget the CTA.
Yes. So that seems like such a very simple way to really structure it in such a complicated, field where a lot of trainers may not be that, feel that comfortable with. So that's a really good way to you really did a really great job simplifying exactly that.
Awesome. I'm glad I could do that.
So yeah, so I just want to thank you again. And I really appreciate you coming on.
All right. Thank you. See ya.
Bye.